How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Every year, the NBA draft, where dreams become reality, legends are born, the best moment and experience, generational wealth success, and goals achieved, the number one pick will always have a heavy burden to lift. With all eyes on the first selection, only a handful of first overall picks have ever been able to lead their team that drafted them to the title. If you want to see that video and see who those greats were, just click on the link above. One would assume the first overall pick should at least be a Hall of Fame quality player, but that's not always the case. Some, unfortunately, don't even last 5 seasons in the NBA. With that said, let's take a look at every number one pick all time and see how many of them actually make the Hall of Fame. Starting from the beginning of time, the first pick in the Basketball Association of America, July 1st, 1947, the Pittsburgh Ironsmen select Clifton McNeely, 28-year-old guard from Texas Wesleyan. An Army vet, instead of playing pro ball, McNeely turned it down, rather stay home and coach high school hoops, became a principal and school admin. 1948, Andy Tomkovich out of Marshall, played just 17 games, averaged 2.6 points, picked by the Providence Steamrollers. After leaving mid-season, retired to become a high school coach and phys ed teacher. 1949, Howie Shannon out of Kansas State, also picked by the Steamrollers. The organization folded before the start of the season. His rights sent to the Celtics, won Rookie of the Year, became a coach, notable for his time with West Virginia. On to the 1950s, Boston picks Chuck Shear, center out of Bowling Green, who played 9 seasons, averaged over 8 and 8, won a title as a 6'11 big man for the 1958 St. Louis Hawks, while the Baltimore Bullets 1951. G. Melchior, the second number one pick to never play a game in the NBA, had a lifetime ban from point shaving at Bradley College. Former league president Maurice Protoloff banned all players involved in the point shaving scandal for life. Could have been the first number one pick to make the Hall of Fame, but had to deal with regrets the rest of his life, lived till 92. 1952, Mark Workman, picked by the Milwaukee Hawks, the 6'9 power forward, played just 2 seasons, a 5-3 guy. 53, Ray Felix out of Long Island University, a decent career, 9 seasons, averaged nearly 11 and 9, one-time All-Star. 1954, Frank Sylvie, best known for his record scoring 100 points in the D1 game, out of Furman, picked by the Baltimore Bullets, 9 seasons, 2-time All-Star, served in the Army, averaged nearly 11 points, would have likely made the Hall of Fame if he hit the final shot in regulation of Game 7 of the 62 Finals, a heartbreaker, currently 88 years old. 1955, Dick Rickett out of Duquesne, played both professional basketball and baseball simultaneously, retired from hoops after 3 seasons in the NBA, averaged over 9 and 6 as a 6'7 power forward. 1956, Sir Hugo Green, guard out of Duquesne as well, averaged over 9 points, 4 boards, over 500 games, never been an All-Star, a 10-year NBA career. 1957, Rod Hutley out of West Virginia, picked up by the Royals, traded his rights to Minneapolis, 6 seasons, averaged 8.4 points, over 3 dimes, 3 boards, 431 games, a 2-time All-Star. His best work, known as a legendary broadcaster, called NBA games on CBS, voice of the Utah Jazz for more than 3 decades. His game had a Pistol Pete Maravich flair, way ahead of its time. Knee injury shortened his career. 1958, Minneapolis Lakers select Elgin Baylor, one of the best players all time, who passed away earlier this year, entered the Hall in 77, having averages of 27.4 points, 13.5 boards, over 4 assists, way ahead of his time, 11-time All-Star, 10 All-NBA teams, incredible player, the first number one pick to make the Hall, took 12 years to do so. 1959, Bob Boozer out of Kansas State did not make the Hall, picked up by the Royals. Wilt Chamberlain was a territorial pick and would have easily been number one almost every single year. The 6'8 Boozer, one-time All-Star, 11 seasons, averaged nearly 15 points, 8 rebounds, won a title his last season with the Bucks. Very solid career. The following year, Oscar Robertson, a territorial pick as well, but also declared number one pick by the Royals. Jerry West went second. The Big O became one of the all-time greats, 12 All-Stars, 11 All-NBAs, a champ and an MVP winner, averages over 25 points, 7.5 boards, almost 10 assists, the original triple-double king. 1961, Walt Bellamy, the 6'11 center out of IU, one of the best rookie numbers all time, nearly averaged 32 and 19, 4-time All-Star, a career 20 and 14 big, overshadowed by Wilt and Russell in the 60s, a Hall of Famer nonetheless. 1962 Chicago Zephyr select Bill McGill out of University of Utah, 6'9" center, averaged 10.5 points, 5 NBA seasons, okay player. 1963 Ark Heyman, 6'5" guard out of Duke, career averages of 13 points, played in both the NBA and ABA but just 3 seasons in the National Basketball Association. 64 Jim Barnes out of Texas El Paso, taken by the Knicks, the 6'8" power forward, averaged almost 9 points, 6.5 boards, won a title with the 69 Celtics, just a solid player, no All-Stars. 1965 Fred Hetzel. In case anybody's wondering if there were any players from Steph Curry's college to be picked number 1 by the NBA, there you have it. The 6'8" power forward averaged over 11 points, 6 boards in 6 seasons, no All-Stars but a decent career. 1966 Kasia Russell out of University of Michigan, picked by the Knicks, part of the 1970 title team, one-time All-Star, averaged 15 points a game in 12 total seasons, very good player but not in the Hall. 1967 Jimmy Walker, the biological father of Jalen Rose out of Providence, 9 seasons, averaged 16.7 points as a 2 guard, 6'3", not in the Hall but a very good player. 1968 Elvin Hayes out of University of Houston, one of the greatest college players all time, also extremely durable, averaged 21 a game, 12.5 boards in 16 seasons, a scoring title, a 2-time rebounding champ, 6 All-NBAs, 12-time All-Star, 10 seasons, put up over 20 and 10, more than worthy of a Hall of Famer. 1969 Lou Alcindor, one of the GOATs, the best college player the game has ever seen, his basketball resume, one of the most complete, 19-time All-Star, leading scorer all time, most MVPs all time, 6 championships, one of the very best first overall picks, as consensus in the draft as anybody can ever get, a guaranteed 100% sure thing from the jump. 1970 Detroit Pistons select center Bob Lanier out of St. Bonaventure, 14 seasons, averaged 20 and 10 for his career, 8-time All-Star, despite no titles, 8 seasons putting up over 20 and 10, a worthy number 1 pick, overshadowed by Jabbar, Cowens, and McAdoo in the center position for the 70s, a top 5 MVP candidate twice. 71 Austin Carr, 6'4" shooting guard out of Notre Dame, 10 seasons, averaged 15.4 points, 1-time All-Star, first 3 seasons averaged above 20 points, good player but not great. 1972 LaRousse Martin out of Loyola Chicago, 4 seasons, put up 5 and 4, all with the Blazers, a huge disappointment, still has an argument, perhaps the worst number 1 pick over the last 50 years after being traded to the Sonics and cut before 77. The Blazers went on to win the title without him. 1973 Doug Collins, many know him as a former coach and commentator out of Illinois State, had a stellar NBA career, averaged almost 18 points, a 4-time All-Star with the 76ers, 8 seasons all in Philly, knee injuries derailed his career before getting into coaching. 1974 Bill Walton, arguably the second best college basketball player all time, also ruined by injuries but won a title, finals MVP, and an MVP, only made 2 All-Stars, could have gone down as a top 10 player all time if it wasn't for the injuries. His accomplishments outside the NBA also more than worthy of the Hall of Fame. 1975 another great player, David Thompson, also in the Hall, 9 seasons of Pro Bowl, his first with the ABA out of NC State, a career average nearly 23 a game, 5-time All-Stars, 2 All-NBA teams, Michael Jordan's idol. Thompson's career cut short due to injuries, leading to him feeling lonely, leading to drug addictions. Another great who could have been an all-timer. 76 John Lucas out of Maryland, 6'3" guard, averaged 10.7 points, 7 assists, played for 6 different teams, no All-Stars but a decent player. 77 Ken Benson out of IU, a disappointment, averaged 9 and 6, 11 seasons total, would have not even gone top 15 if there was a draft redo of his class. 78 Michael Thompson, 6'11" center, picked by Portland, a 2-time champion with Showtime, a near 14 and 8 career guy, 12 seasons, very good player, not in the Hall, the father of Klay Thompson. 79 the legendary Magic Johnson, the best point guard the game has ever seen, an icon who revolutionized the game, best passer all time, in the discussion for top 5 player all time as well. 1980 Joe Barry Carroll, averaged 17.7 points, almost 8 rebounds for his career, not bad, just a 1-time All-Star, did not make the playoffs his first 5 seasons, averaged 24 and 9 on a bad team in his prime, will forever be linked to the Kevin McHale Boston trade, questionable work ethic. Joe Barry Carroll even got the nickname Joe Barely Cares during his tenure with the Warriors. 81, Mark Aguirre. It's an absolute travesty. The 6'6" small forward's not in the Hall out of DePaul, 3-time All-Star, career 20-point scorer, even averaged 29.5 points his third season, 2 titles with the Bad Boys after trading for Adrian Dantley. Aguirre sacrificed his role when mentioned amongst the most underrated players all time. Aguirre's so underrated his name often gets forgotten, and clearly better than a bunch of guys in the Hall. 82, James Worthy out of UNC, 7-time All-Star, 3-time champ with Showtime, a Finals MVP winner, good mid-range game, elite in transition, always shows up in big postseason games. The definition of a Swiss Army knife, put up over 17 and 5, sacrificed his number for winning. A 2-time All-NBA player, 100% Hall of Fame worthy material. 1983, Ralph Sampson, the 7'4" phenom, supposed to go down as an all-time great with his size and athletic abilities, but being super tall, injury slowed him down in year 4. A near 16-9 guy, him and Hakeem made the finals in 86, his last fully healthy season. A 4-time All-Star, many argue Sampson shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but also one of the best college basketball players all time. Sampson was inducted in 2012. 1984, Hakeem Olajuwon, all-time great big man, perhaps the most skilled center the game will ever see, 12-time All-Star, 2 Finals MVPs, an MVP, 2 DPOYs, a career 22-11 guy. An argument to be made, if you could draft one big to start your franchise, Hakeem a solid #1 choice. 85, Patrick Ewing, the greatest Knick all-time, 11-time All-Star, 7 All-NBAs, a 21-10 guy. Despite being one of the best players to never win a title, Ewing finished top 5 in MVP voting 6 times, led New York to 13 straight postseasons. 1986, another center, Brad Daugherty, spent all 8 seasons in Cleveland, averaged 19 points, 9.5 boards, a great passer, 5-time All-Star, but forced to retire at 28 due to back injuries. Would have clearly been a 20-10 guy for at least 4 more seasons if it wasn't for being hurt. Simply didn't play long enough for Hall of Fame status. 1987, the golden era of big men continues. David Robinson, first 2 seasons military duties, came in as a franchise player off the bat, became a top 5 player at his peak, 2 titles, an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year winner, 10 All-Stars, a scoring, rebounding, and blocks champion, simply a winner in all categories, put up 21 a game, over 10 boards, 3 rejections for his career, a physical specimen. The Admiral, very similar playstyle to Giannis in today's NBA. 1988, Danny Manning, 6'10" power forward out of Kansas, college legend, 2 All-Stars, underachieved for a top pick, but averaged 14 points, 5 boards on an awful Clippers franchise, became a 6-man winner, but no All-Stars, now a coach in college hoops, not in the Hall. 1989, Purvis Ellison out of Louisville, remembered as a disappointing pick, averaged 9.5 points, 6.7 boards, a 6'9" center, averaged 20 and 11 in year 3. Danny Ainge called him out of service Purvis when he got to the NBA. 1990, Derek Coleman, Syracuse legend, 16.5 points, over 9 rebounds, 6'10" power forward, 1-time All-Star, 2 All-NBAs, 3 seasons, average over 20 and 10, can shoot the 3, similar playstyle to DeMarcus Cousins. Given his success first 5 seasons with the Nets, there was no reason to believe why Coleman wouldn't be in the Hall, regressed it quickly, and unfortunately did not make the Hall of Fame. 91, Larry Johnson, 6'6" power forward out of UNLV, similar playstyle to Zion, an athletic freak, insane slams, 2 All-Stars, 1 All-NBA, but peaked his first 2 seasons. Injury slowed him down, picked up weight, and lost his athleticism in his late 20s. A career over 16 and 7 guy, out the league by 32. 92, Shaquille O'Neal, the most unstoppable force since Wilt Chamberlain. Physically imposing, easily one of the greatest #1 picks all time. 4 titles, 15 All-Stars, and MVP. O'Neal, his first seasons with Orlando alone already would have made him a Hall of Famer. 93, Chris Webber, finally got in 2021, about time. 15 years, averaged nearly 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Should have been in the Hall a while ago. 94, Glenn Robinson, the face of the Bucks franchise, a career 20.7 point scorer, big dog, 6'7", strong and tough, 2 All-Stars, very good player, but not good enough to make the Hall of Fame. 95, Joe Smith out of Maryland, huge disappointment, averaged nearly 11 points, over 6 boards, a power forward, a decent role player at best, would have been somewhere between the 8 and 12 pick for his class. 96, Allen Iverson, the answer, one of the biggest influencers the game has ever seen, an MVP winner, to averaging nearly 27 points for his career at his height. Remarkable stuff. 97, greatest power forward all time, Tim Duncan, consensus #1 pick, 5-time champ, multiple-time MVP winner, 15 All-Stars, one of the best resumes in the top 5 discussion as the best overall #1 pick all time, also in the discussion as one of the best players all time to play for a single franchise. 1998, Michael Olowokandi, a miss by the Clippers, averaged 8.3 points, 7 rebounds, 9 seasons. The 7-footer wouldn't even have been close to a lottery pick if there was a draft redo. 99, Elton Brand, very good player, super forgotten, never gets mentioned, a career 16 point, 8.5 rebound guy at 6'8" power forward, 2 All-Stars, 6 seasons averaging 20 plus, regressed after an Achilles injury at 28. 2000, Kenyon Martin, the last 4-year college basketball player to go #1, worst class over the last 3 decades, 1-time All-Star but injury prone, a near 17-10 guy at his peak, insane athlete, had his best moments playing with J. Kidd. 2001, Kwame Brown, he might not be in the NBA Hall of Fame, but absolutely in the 2021 YouTube Hall of Fame. Epic channel, Kwame Brown bust life, 12 seasons, nearly 64 million, not bad for a busty bust, mama's cooking. 2002, Yao Ming, a short career, 8 seasons, a 19-9 guy, 7'6" center, great moves, sweet stroke, 5 All-NBAs. Many argue he shouldn't be in the Hall, but given his impact internationally, Yao absolutely easily in the Hall given his influence alone. 2003, LeBron James, first ballot Hall of Famer in the discussion for best #1 picks all time, simply one of the best, no question about that. The only question we'll have is who will represent LeBron in his future Hall of Fame speech. 2004, Dwight Howard, my longtime viewers know how much I've been critical of Dwight, but he's easily a Hall of Famer, no question about that, given what he's accomplished by 26, 3 straight DPOY awards, a top 5 player in the late 2000s and early 2010s, multiple times with the Magic. Who knows what he will be talking about at his speech. 2005, Andrew Bogut, not an all-star but a good player, had a similar impact as Kenyon Martin, 14 seasons, a near 10-9 guy, 1 All-NBA team, injury prone throughout his career. 2006, Andrea Bargnani, a career 14 points per game out of Italy, 7-foot power forward, didn't live up to the #1 hype, but made over 73 mil in the NBA. 2007, Greg Oden, injury prone, the biggest what if, failed knees, just 105 total games, still only 33 years old, will forever be remembered as the guy drafted ahead of Kevin Durant. 2008, Derrick Rose, who might go down as the only MVP to not make the Hall. Sad how his prime was robbed, a 3-time All-Star, 1 All-NBA, given it's the NBA Hall of Fame. Rose might get in, it's honestly a 50-50 call, might make it 20 years from now. 2009, Blake Griffin, this might be a toss-up, but I believe Blake will get in. 6-time All-Star, that's more than Chris Webber. 5 All-NBA teams, even finished 3rd for MVP at his peak, 8 seasons scoring 20 plus. 2010, John Wall, very interesting, still 30 years old, 10 seasons, a 19.9 assist guy so far, 5-time All-Star. If Wall retires today, we'll end up being in a Brad Daugherty situation and have that type of legacy, but if he stays healthy the next 4 seasons and maybe squeeze in 1 All-Star appearance, he'll likely get in as well, another 50-50 shot. 2012, Anthony Davis, a guaranteed Hall of Famer no matter how the rest of his career goes. 2013, Anthony Bennett, negative. 2014, Andrew Wiggins, still 26, should be entering his prime. No All-Stars his first 7 seasons. Doesn't seem like he'll live up to the hype. Has a 0.0 chance in B-ball reference unless he becomes a multiple-time All-Star and make a crazy leap. I don't see that happening. My guess is no. My last one, Karl Anthony Towns. Despite being on a terrible Wolves franchise, dealing with some difficulties off the court, first 6 years a 23-11 guy, 2 All-Stars so far, still only 25. Was seen as the next face of the league. Given his age, a few years away from his peak, will need to make multiple playoffs and win some rounds, a few more All-Stars and All-NBA selections. He should get in as long as he stays healthy for the next 6 seasons. Big Cat, in my prediction, will be a future Hall of Famer. Counting from 1947 to 2007, the first 61 #1 picks, cutting off Derrick Rose since his career is still to be determined, so as John Wall's, Cats, and Blake Griffin's as well. Only 21 out of the 61 number 1 picks the first 61 years of the draft's existence actually makes the Hall of Fame. That's a 34.4% chance, meaning 1 out of every 3 number 1 picks will make the Hall of Fame. A lot of them become very good players, but nowhere near the best for their class. The next 5, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, DeAndre Ayton, Zion Williamson, and Anthony Edwards. One of them looks like the best in their class already. All good players. Simmons needs to get better, somewhat disappointing. Fultz looks like he's going to be a good role player, but nothing too special. Ayton will always be overshadowed by Luka and Trey, a good player in his own right. So it doesn't come around that often that there's a once-in-a-generational type talent that comes along and becomes a top 5 player in the league. Looking at my number 1 pick pyramid, the only number 1 picks to ever become a top 5 player in any point in the league: Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, perhaps Elvin Hayes, Lou Alcindor, Bill Walton, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Dwight Howard, and Anthony Davis. Guys drafted between 47 to 2007. Ranking my number 1 picks pyramid: Tier 1, LeBron, Kareem, Duncan, Shaq, Magic, Hakeem, Oscar. Tier 2, Baylor, Robinson, Ewing, Iverson, Bill Walton, Elvin Hayes, Dwight Howard, James Worthy. Tier 3, Walt Benamy, Bob Lanier, David Thompson, Ralph Sampson, Chris Webber, Yao Ming. Current players: D. Rose, Blake Griffin, John Wall would be in Tier 3 if they get in. Kyrie and AD, Tier 2 category. Anthony Bennett, the bottom of the tires. There you have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Cade Cunningham becoming the number 1 pick in the 2021 NBA Draft. Interesting to see how his career plays out the next 5 years. Will he be an all-star by then? Perhaps an MVP candidate? We'll wait and see. What number 1 picks drafted between 2015 to 2021 will be the next to win an MVP? Let me know in the comments below. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, current NBA, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much again. I love all of you. See you next time.